what I mean? It's so much easier to move the other person's pieces. I play Hikaru. I'm deer in headlights. Like I see nothing.
No, it's the psychological pressure is people just kind of roll their eyes sometimes and assume that you're exaggerating. But, I think we both experienced it. I experience it all too often. It is very, very hard to just put confidence in your own calculation and your own vision of the position when you're playing him. You feel like every move is a blunder. And it's hard to explain why that happens. But it does, and it's pretty universal.
Now, why is A5 given a question mark? Is that just game review not analyzing the whole thing in depth, or is there a real problem with A5, A4? Because I thought it was a standard Meraxi idea.
Yeah, I think game review needs to take a walk. The problem is, I think, it's very concrete. First of all, you can't take on B2, I think, because of rook F B1, queen A3, rook B3, trapping the queen. That's pretty straightforward. I just don't think you're getting the setup you want here. If you're Jose, Hikaru is very quick to the party. He might put a knight on D5, rook AC1. It's just black is lacking some tempi here, I think.
Yeah, this could get a bit unpleasant quite quickly with the rook on C1 and the queen on C7. It's very different than last time. Last time the bishop went out to B2. This time Hikaru is running it down mid, inspired by Tyler 1.
Good one.
Thank you. I gotta match the god of the wittiness and humor.
No, I'm the god of the lowest form of humor, perhaps. But the game review was too intoxicated by the Hikaru effect, I think. And Jose is actually very much in business here. Excellent heads up move. A4. This is what he needs to do. B4 here is problematic because if bishop takes D5, knight takes B4. Not saying he's not going to play it, but that has to be calculated very concretely, and he plays it.
Yep, B4. Standard. Bishop D5 is not really a move you want to play, but I'm not sure you have anything better.
You don't. You can't allow A3.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the blue arrow. Now I'm so confident.
This is a new development, I have to say I'm a young man, but I feel like a dinosaur sometimes watching chess commentary because I go, why? You don't need to spoil it. I want the commentators to tell me. And then there's a big blue arrow of the chess gods that just tells you what the move is. So why do we even have these jobs? Why don't the blue arrow can tell us everything?
Yeah, I mean, give it a couple of years. It's interesting that just the symbiosis of the human and the engine. Some people are like, well, why are you using the engine? It shows how bad you are. Yeah, the secret is out. Humans suck. Okay, there's no secret anymore. It's out in the open. We're all terrible, and we just have to make the most of it. Hikaru making the most of his position, I think, as he squeezes his knight into C6. He's posing so many dilemmas for black. That's what's causing the time deficit. Now Jose has to decide, is he giving up the pride of his position? Is knight C6 enough of a threat to warrant that?
Back to humans and not just blue arrows. It really looks like enough, I have to say. And this is a standard idea in some positions of the Meraxi, as the blue arrow is showing. But generally, you take on C3, and he does do it. And maybe he's gonna go. But like as a human, I could never. I really could never. I guess if the alternative was knight C6, I would have no choice. But I would be worried I'd get mated 17 different ways here on every diagonal.
Absolutely. The blue arrow is like that kid in class who wants to show how much they know, and they raise their hand. I know this one too. Oh, I got 100 on the exam when the average was a 60. Like the blue arrow needs to take a walk every once in a while, learn its place. I'm totally in agreement, Levy. If the queen were to magically transport to H6, actually, that's the whole point. That would not be as dangerous as it seems because on demand, black can play the move F6 and shut down this bishop. So you've seen a trend like this.
Can you go queen C7? How do we feel about queen C7?
Takes, rook F to D8. Let's not forget also black is technically up a pawn. I hate to be the one to say it. And good call.
I don't know if it's the best move, but I'm in my Magnus era. This is my just trade the queens and put some pressure. It's not for everybody, but yeah, if Jose can again defend this position down to the very wire, then kudos to him. But Hikaru's going to put pressure for a while. Now, I think you take on F5 here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, the blue arrow doesn't have anything to say to that. I'm amazed.
You beat it to the punch, dude. you didn't leave it. You left it in the dust.
Oh my gosh. Rook A7. Now preparing piggies on the 7th. Rook CC7 is a big threat. Rook B4 is very tempting.
King F8, King E8. Is that how we're going to defend ourselves?
It's around the point where the goalie has to come in to kick the corner. You know, you need all hands on deck here. I agree.
But maybe it's too defensive. Maybe your move is better, Rook B4.
Yeah, the problem... Well, Rook takes A6 is also kind of the off-ramp for white. If Hikaru can eliminate both of these pawns, if he can go a pawn up, he should be technically winning. Jose has to keep at least one of these pawns alive, in my opinion. Maybe Rook A8.
You are right. Rook A8 does relieve a little bit of the pressure. There is some of these like endgame rules, and Rook B4 we do see it. Some of these endgame rules where if you want to win one of these endgames, you got to trade a pair of rooks, but also sometimes trading a pair of rooks alleviates some of the pressure. So there's all these fundamentals that you just have to pick and choose which one you like.
Bishop A5. Bishop A5. Oh, Jose missed it. He has to go back to B5, which is deadly because it allows Rook C7. Of course, he planned to go Rook D4. Forgetting, this is what we talked about in the last game. Levy, these weird bishop maneuvers.
Same one.
Suddenly, exactly the same square. You're exactly right. It's over.
The Rook C7. And there it is. The king now doesn't make it to E8, which is why I wanted to bring the king over. And, the bishop is still hanging. Wait a minute. But now it's probably over.
It's hanging, but black is not hanging in there because the knight has to now move. E5 runs into bishop G5. That bishop is like bilocating. It's appearing in, Rome and New York City at the same time. It's on A5 when you need it to be on A5. It's on G5 when you need it to be on G5. Can black at least prolong this game? Can you go knight F6, rook takes C7, and something like knight H5? No, it's over. Jospem is dead here.
He plays rook F8. I mean, at the very least, rook D7, rook E7. At the very least is you never lose with white, and you can probably only win. But just like you're saying, probably just bishop H6 and yeah, there it is.
But you're right, rook F6. You can now play rook takes D7, so it's just the best version of that idea. Time to get the vacuum cleaner out. Every pawn is isolated.
I was just about to say rook A6, rook A4. Yeah, he's going to pick up every pawn. He's threatening mate. He's going to go to the other side.
Dicing out.
Yep. Oh man, this is brutal. Rook
okay,
B7.
Anything wins here.
Rook C7 maybe. Rook D7.
And not the first time Hikaru has had 3 passed pawns against none in an endgame. I think in game 1 it was the same conclusion to the game. It was 3 pawns against none on the queen side. This time it's on the king side. Jose again played fantastic chess until move 28. But why did he blunder? It's because he was under pressure from the very first moves. He needs to change his opening, in my opinion. This is not suiting his style.
But the thing is, what is the backup? Did he come prepared with 2 separate openings for this match? Right? Because then that becomes a question.
Well, I think he's worried. He's worried about Hikaru